Our scriptures say that we are born Janmana Jayate Shudraha, in some places Jantuhu, Samskara Dvija Uchyate, Veda Patanad Bhavet Vipraha, Brahma Janati iti Brahmanaha. We all know that there are 4 classifications of people based on their aptitudes. Gunakarma Vibhagashaha, Sri Krishna says. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtaha, Gunakarma Vibhashaha. Based on their gunas, their aptitudes, their abilities, qualities, inherent samskaras, I have divided or classified them into 4 kinds. But all are born as the lowest of all beings who are only interested in eating, sleeping, procreating, making merry, and dying finally. That is the lowest, that is the animal instinct. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyametat pashurbir naranam. Just eating, sleeping, procreating, and fearing the uncertainties of life, death. These are all common between humans and animals. So the first part of the shloka says, Janmana jayate jantuhu or shudraha. We are all born like that with fears, anxiety of future, our need for food, rest, to procreate, and ultimately die. But if we just do that, then we are not humans. The next level is samskara dvija uchyate. You have to get samskara. Samskara means refinement. That refinement should happen to the animal like humans so that they behave like humans. That samskara is by way of various things, including education. Education should make us samskaravan, means cultured, means refined. So that is what education brings us, this kind of refinement of culture, and that makes us humans. The next step is Veda Patnat Bhavetraha. Just joining a school, learning education, all kinds of education, does not make us the ultimate perfect human being. We have to be wise people. Vipraha. And that comes through Veda Patana, studying the scriptures. That is the third step. And the fourth step is Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Ultimately, you are known as Brahmana only if you know Brahman. Just by being born in a Brahmana Kula, or joining a Gurukula, or studying the Vedas, or undergoing Upanayanam ceremony, you don't become a Brahmana. You become when you know Brahman, which when you know, realize God, that is when you are truly a Brahmana, he says. So, many people misunderstand these classifications as some kind of a social hierarchy, but it is not supposed to be that way. It is a misinterpretation of the scriptural truths. It's only like some people are sports people, they want to always play. Some people are musicians, they always want to sing. Some are scientists, they're always investigating. Some people are mathematicians, they're always in the world of numbers. Everybody has a different type of quality, their gunas. So that means one is called mathematicians, one is called musician, one is called a sportsman, one is called a scientist. Likewise, one is only interested in the bodily pleasures, eating, sleeping, procreating, making merry, they are called Shudras. The people who are interested in earning money, wealth, power, position, they are called Vaishyas. Those who are power in terms of position and control, authority, they are called as Kshatriyas. And those who are interested in knowledge, they are called as Brahmanas. Generally, that is how it was classified. But the true understanding of a Brahmana is the one who knows Brahman, the one who realizes Brahman. Such a person alone is qualified as Brahmana. That deep is our scripture. Recently we had this Upanayana ceremony, which is a kind of a rite of passage in our way of life for those who are seekers of knowledge. And so there is a ritual that was performed, and a thread is invested in the Vatu, and that Vatu is supposed to now seek knowledge. Not wealth, not position, not power, not physical pleasures, knowledge. That is the idea. So that was an old ritual from our scriptures where people would be initiated into that ceremony so that they can go and join a Gurukula and continue their education. However, that knowledge was limited to only those who were invested with this thread, which is a kind of rite of passage. For those who did not have, they had little access to this knowledge, unfortunately. Social structures were like that. And also, there was a reason for it. They did not perhaps have the aptitude. Even if you teach them, they may not understand because they were not ready for it. Purva Janma samskaras are there, many, many lifetimes of our life, how we have lived. All that defines what we are interested in this birth. So it was natural that you are born in a certain families, in a certain situation, based on your past lives. So people are born in knowledge seeking families, or wealth seeking families, or power seeking families, or simply merry making families based on what they have done in their previous lifetimes. And so that is why these classifications were recognized then. However, in my personal opinion, I felt that, of course, people have to be deserving, they have to have the aptitude for it. You can't make a musician out of a sportsman just because he joins a music college. Or you can't make a mathematician out of a musician just because he has joined a university teaches maths. So even if you force feed them, they won't learn. It won't happen. It's like fitting a round square peg in a round hole like that. It doesn't work. So our scriptures recognize this long back, that people are born with certain aptitudes. Nevertheless, everybody must learn and grow into a better individual. From that animal like life to a human like life, from human to a divine life. This is the evolution that our scriptures taught. And that would happen only through education. Education brings samskara. So that education which is without samskaras, which does not refine us, make us better human beings, that education is of no use. And that better human beings, third stage, Vipra, you are an intelligent person, that is not the end of our educational journey. Brahma Janati, to know God is the end of our educational journey. So if it stops halfway through, that education is incomplete education as per our scriptures. That's why this apara para vidya, you all know the theory of it. I am not born in a Brahmin kula. So that way the access to this education was not given to most of us. Our families are not aware of this. They follow some Brahmin priest who comes and tells these are the rituals you must perform at certain age and time. Like a marriage ceremony, people call a Brahmin priest, he performs the ceremony. It is for all the people, whether they are born in this area or that area, this class or that class, everybody follows that. That's fine. But the access to this knowledge of Vedas and Upanishads was not there because nobody knew. They only knew a few mantras, but they did not know this knowledge of the scriptures. Now, what Bhagavan did in Puttaparthi were there some Indian culture and spirituality classes were there, and that essence we kept on learning. And once in a discourse, Bhagavan said, everybody should read Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter. This is what he said. So that was the first introduction to Bhagavad Gita to me. Before that, we all know one Bhagavad Gita because we had watched the serials which used to be produced in those times. Now these children are so unfortunate, they don't even get that. But at least those days, the whole India used to come to a standstill when Mahabharata serial was going on. Nobody will be outside. A pin drop silent, like dead silence. That kind of interest people had in knowing about our scripture. So we learned whatever little, but no proper shlokas. So first time we read through 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the qualities of a devotee. That itself was a very heavy chapter in the sense if you really understand the chapter and want to follow even one value or one quality, it will take a lifetime of effort to become that. One quality is Aniketa, by the way. It says Aniketa Sthirmatihi, the one who is steady-minded and who has no house. Practice that, not easy. It will take a whole lifetime and maybe more lifetimes just to get one quality right of Bhagavad Gita's 12th chapter. 40 qualities like that are there. You can go on many lifetimes to learn that. But he initiated. And his discourse on Vedanta, that time it all used to, for small children like many of you in this room, I'm sure, it's all going above head. Because we won't understand. We are so busy with tomorrow. The assignment has to get over. Day after exams are there. Semester end exams are there. Projects have to be submitted. So many things are running in our head. The discourse had no place in our head. Students, I'm not saying devotees and those who had evolved, but those who were really just come and started studying, they found it difficult. And those 2.5 hours long discourses used to be sometimes extremely difficult to even sit through and understand because they were all highly Advaitic. From the beginning it was Advaitic, but we never understood because still not, samskara has not happened. We have not evolved enough to grasp the essence of what is being taught. We were not good shishyas. So it all used to go above the head. But that knowledge of wisdom of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, other scriptures, is a must for every human being to evolve. Of course, their grasping power, their ability to understand, assimilate, their yogyata, as I mentioned, that depends on their purva janma samskaras also. Not everybody will respond to the scriptures the same way. Like not everybody can become a musician. Sometimes our music boys complain. I tell every student should know some raga, some bhajan. Some of them came and complained, Swami, some of them are like impossible. In this lifetime, I don't think they'll get it right. So don't expect everybody will sing in swaras and tala and they'll sing a raga. Not for everyone. So I understand that. But I want the sound, as I said, of the truth. At least the raga should go into their ears. They should know, okay, this is Mohanam. This is how it sounds. These are the bhajans. Some things, because this is our culture. If we don't even give that exposure, we cannot blame them tomorrow for not appreciating our culture because we have not even given a chance to hear that truth. This is why I go on repeating this, because whatever it is, at least some words will go inside your mind. At least you will know something called Upanishad exists. And in Upanishad, these are the ideas discussed. Good enough. Someday when your evolution has happened, you would be able to grasp it better. This is my whole effort, or what is my yearning or my finding, that everybody should at least make some effort, because otherwise you will never know Brahman. You will become Vipra at best, great intellectuals, that we have plenty. But they are no good to the society. They are very selfish. What's the use of all the intelligence which is only for selfishness? So Brahma Janati, to know Brahman is the idea. But I felt personally that at least everybody, whether they're born in whichever Kula Varga, doesn't matter. Wherever they're born, at least they should hear this truth once. And if it appeals to them because they have some Purjanma Susamskaras are there, who knows, they may just blossom from there. Even if it doesn't, at least it'll go and stay there as a seed, dormant right now, but at some point in time it will, germinate in some good situation. So I hope like this and go on doing what needs to be done. But I expect that teachers and students should take interest in learning these things, which is important for their ultimate wisdom, ultimate freedom. All others will take you only so far, but you cannot cross over unless you know this truth. So slow and steady, some effort should be made. That is the idea. Upanayanam was done. They were initiated into Gayatri Mantra, and Gayatri Mantra is the crest jewel of all the mantras in the Vedas. Comes from Rigveda 10th Mandala, where the Rishi is Vishwamitra. He got this Gayatri Chanda, and in his own meditation, he revealed this mantra to the world. Very beautiful, you all know. What does it pray for? Many people say, Swami, if I chant Gayatri Mantra, will I be protected from all evils? I say, yes, of course you will be. Some people say, can I chant Gayatri Mantra for getting better memory so that I can get good marks? I say, yes, you can do that too. Some people ask, if I chant Gayatri Mantra, will I become healthy? I said, yes, you can become healthy too by chanting Gayatri Mantra. So people chant Gayatri Mantra for all kinds of reasons without even knowing the true meaning of the mantra. Mantra, Om is the Vyaharati, Om is the name of Brahman, Om iti Brahma, that is said in scriptures. Like if I call out your name, you will respond to that. Likewise, when I say Om, that Brahman gets invoked. It responds, that divinity responds. We chant Om. Bhur Bhuvasva pertains to the body, mind and spirit. The three lokas, or you call it Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti Avastha. The wakeful state, the dream state and the deep sleep state in which we exist. So all three, Om, Bhur Bhuvasva, these are all Vyaharatis. These are not the mantra. Mantra starts with Tat Saviturvarenyam. And it says Tat, that, Savitah. Savita means sun. Sun God. It is dedicated to sun God. But sun also is representation of light, effulgence, which means knowledge. So that which is full of knowledge and wisdom. Which wisdom? Wisdom of the self, of the truth. Savituha Varenyam, that which is adorable, worshipable. Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya, that is effulgent, that divinity which is effulgent. And Diva means also our senses. That which makes us experience the world is also Deva. So that which helps us experience this world, that consciousness, to that Bhargo Devasya Dhimai, I meditate upon that truth which illuminates me and all my body, mind and spirit. Not just that, it is the one which helps me experience the world. It illuminates my senses and helps me understand everything. To that effulgent self, like sun, what do? I meditate upon Dhimahi. I meditate, I put my buddhi in it, invest my thoughts in it. That is meditation. Dhiyo yonaha prachodayat. May this intellect of mine, by your grace, prachodayat, by your grace, may this intellect become effulgent with the knowledge. That is the idea. We are asking that, O divinity that resides in me at all times and in all the lokas, which is effulgent with that knowledge of the ultimate truth. You bless me with the same knowledge. Let my intellect shine with that knowledge so that I see things as they are. See, when you're in a dark room, you may take one thing for the other because you don't see things clearly. But when you switch on the light, you can clearly see everything. Likewise, if our mind is dark, without that wisdom of the self, we see the world as world only. Everything, we see the snake in the rope. But the moment you switch on the light, you see the rope and snake disappears. All the fear disappears. Likewise, this Gayatri Mantra is to invoke that divinity within, to make our intellect shine with that wisdom so that we see things in the right perspective. We see each other as a woman, man, young, old, rich, poor, wealthy or unwealthy, whatever. All these differences disappear. These are like the superimposition of the snake on the rope. When this knowledge dawns, you see everything is Brahman. Everything is divinity. Yes, in different forms and names. But underlying principle is divinity. So you don't hate anybody, so also you don't get attached unnecessarily. You don't, this both disappears from there. Ashtavakra says, Bubukshihe samsare mumukshubihe vidyate bhoga moksha nirakangshi viralohi mahashayaha. There are people desirous of the world, bhoga. They want to enjoy the world. Bubukshus there. Then mumukshus are also there, those who want to renounce the world and seek liberation. But barely you find some great one who neither wants bhoga nor he wants moksha. He is happy as he is. Why? Because he sees everything as divinity. What is there to seek? What is there to ask? What is there to desire? Everything is you. Everything is your own Swarupa. This knowledge dawns in such a person, so that person becomes free. Can't be fooled into the illusions of the world. So he lives a life which is free. That is the ultimate gift of the wisdom of scripture. So Gayatri Mantra is given for that. They all chant, Sandhya Vandanam they chant Gayatri Mantra. All of us chant Gayatri Mantra. But if we don't chant with this right understanding, it will have minimal effect. Like if you go to our hospital, they'll give you some medicine, but they also will tell you how to take the medicine, what time to take, what to eat, what not to eat during that time. Aharam Patyam, that is the Ayurveda. But if you only take medicine and don't follow the other advice of when to eat and what food not to eat, what food to eat, then medicine will not completely do what it can. Likewise, Gayatri Mantra chanting verbally is one thing, but to understand why you are chanting and truly seek that blessing of the mantra is very important. See, that is very important. That is why it is whatever you learn, little Sanskrit also you learn, little any language you learn, understand the essence of it. Don't parrot it out like tape recorders. That is not the way. Understand the essence and chant. Whatever little you learn it thoroughly. So you have great fortune because not every school teaches Sanskrit, not every school teaches mantras. You are learning all these. And mind you, if it was a few hundred years back, 90% in this hall would not have access to these things. It was quite exclusive for only a few people. And there were no videos and scriptures and printed communications. You could not just take it and study on your own. So you had to really find a guru, and guru should be willing to accept you. He will check your qualification and many things. That is not easy. So all these things have to come together for you to even learn some of these things. So enjoy it as you are learning. Don't just think of it as additional responsibility or a burden. That would be what can I say? It is like that poem is there. No, pussycat, pussycat, where had you been? I had been to London to see the Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, what did you see there? I saw a mouse under the chair. We will become like this spiritual pussycats who only look for mouse. Mouse means maths marks, science marks, medicine marks. And we forget to see the Queen, the real divine self. Because we are only interested, what is a cat interested in after all? How to catch a rat. That's all is her interest. Is she interested in seeing the Queen? No. Like that, let our minds not become spiritual pussycats which are only interested in worldly things even after coming to this place. Let us not undervalue the opportunity. Let us not shortchange ourselves of this great opportunity. So that is why I keep insisting. And as you see this year, as it progresses, you will only hear more and more of Advaita, because we are going to learn Ashtavakra Gita. That's a very, very beautiful scripture. Many people misunderstand it, misinterpret it, and wrongly practice it. But I want to kind of dispel that confusion around it. Scripture says, "Ande naiva niyamana yathandaha." It's like blind leading the blind. Avidyayam antare vartamana swayam dhira pandita manyamana. Dandravyamana paryanti mudaha andhe naiva niyamana yathandaha. Some people read up a bit of scriptures, they think they have understood everything, they consider themselves as panditas, means gyanis. And then they start telling the truth to everybody in their excitement. And then what happens? They also don't understand, the other fellows doesn't understand, all of them go and fall in the pit. They go in circles, ultimately fall in the well. So this is the idea. So reading scriptures is one thing, mugging it up is one thing, but experiencing it is another thing. If you don't experience it, that knowledge is not complete. It still helps, but it is incomplete. It's like seeing a menu card. You know all the dishes which are available in the hotel, but if you can't eat any of them, what use is all that knowledge of what is available? So make efforts, and the effort reach here is to read the scriptures, to assimilate the knowledge by practicing it as much as possible in its truest essence. And ultimately, who gets the wisdom? The one who seeks it gets it. That's it. You need it, you deserve it. If you seek it thoroughly, sincerely, eagerly, then the knowledge reveals itself to you. That is why he's saying to sun god, nor whatever the divinity, Dihoyona prachodya, you enlighten me. You let this intellect shine. I surrender this intellect to you and meditate upon your truth. Let this truth dawn upon me. Let I see everything in that light of that wisdom, so that I see it correct. I don't see the snake, there is only a rope, and don't live a life in fear. So that is the kind of beautiful scriptural truths. So all I'm saying is that all these scriptures are true. These sages have experienced these truths. But above all, they've experienced the truth of Brahman, which is the highest. You have to experience that. If you don't experience that, your knowledge is not complete. You should be dissatisfied. You should be still have the hunger. You should not feel satiated with whatever you have learnt in life. If you haven't learned this, you should feel that emptiness in you. You should feel that longing. You should feel that craving for more. If it is not happening, that mumukshatva is not happening, all this education is simply a wastage, according to me. Of course, some use because it gets you a salary, it helps you feed your family, and all that I understand. That is definitely useful. But if you are still not grown to that level, at least no use of studying in our institutions. Study anywhere, it makes sense. Because that purpose only is to get you an education, then an employment. So it's perfect there. I'm not having any complaints about it. But our idea is not to stop at employment, right? Our is to enlightenment. Education to employment to enlightenment. If enlightenment is not happening, then our process is not complete. This is why I am very particular that everybody makes efforts. Little effort also goes a long way in this spiritual path. It is rewarded disproportionately in spiritual path. Our scriptures say that once that Atman becomes happy with us, it reveals itself. If you please that Brahman, that oh, here is a sincere seeker who is seeking me above everything else, it becomes happy. It says, prasidati. It becomes happy and then reveals itself to you. That is the beauty of our scriptures. Don't undermine the importance of these things. I know you don't. But even otherwise, make efforts to practice. Salpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. A little effort on this path will take away greatest of the fears. The biggest fear is fear of death. When everything comes to an end, so to say, that death, fear of death also disappears. And neha abhikramanashosti. And whatever effort you put is never lost in this path. If not in this lifetime, in another lifetime it will be useful. You will start the journey where it ended in the previous life. You won't go back, slide back. So that itself is a good help, right? So neha abhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. And there are no adverse effects of it. Many parents worry, oh, if all this they will learn, they'll become sannyasis or something like that. The Swami used to tell this story in Puttaparthi. Once some Bhagavatam or something was going on, like in earlier times, so whole night you'll hear the discourse on all these stories. So one young boy was very interested. Every night he will go and sit there and listen to the Bhagavatam Katha. Parents got very worried, who were also attending the program, by the way. So they said, Swamiji, I think we should not bring our son because if he listens to it too much, who knows, he may become a monk or a sannyasi and we will lose future generations. So the Pandit said, you have been listening to this Bhagavatam for last 40 years. Have you become a sannyasi? Not yet. Oh, why are you worried? Idea is that what's the point in just listening for this year and taking out from the other year? Nothing goes inside. that is of no use. No, it's a waste of time for everybody. It's a wasted effort. Put some interest in it. That interest is important. How do you develop the interest? Stay in the company of right people. You just now saying satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischaltatvam, nischaltatve jirvana mukti. Stay in satsanga. Stay in the company of people who are also interested in this thing. See all these birds of same feather, these cricket fellows. Now more and more people want to join cricket academy. I asked, what were you doing till now? Suddenly you woke up. Because we have started for 6th, 7th, 8th, because they also have to study academics. Now, people have gone to 10th, 12th, even graduated. Now they all want to go and join cricket. I said, you can join the cricket as after school kind of a activity, but having it as a full time at your age is not possible for me to, because it takes so many number of years to bring you to a certain level. You can't just start halfway through unless you're a prodigy or something. But what I'm saying is that, like you stay with the like minded people, you develop interest in things. You also stay with people who are always interested in spiritual ideas. Then you will also develop that interest and you will also start learning it, start grasping it. So, to stay in good company, very important. Good company is everything. If your company is wrong, you cannot stay right. It will take you away from the right path. Choose your company very, very carefully and be wise to stay with the right people who have interest in spirituality. Even in your class, I'm sure there'll be some who are very interested, there will be some who will be very dull about it or are not very keen. Stay with those who are very keen on these things. Like all these students who are not doing very well, they always want to hang around with the intelligent ones, right? So that something rubs on to them, they will be hoping. Likewise, stay in the company of people who are interested in God and spirituality. Your life will be much better. You will get both. Iha para, Krishna says, yoga, kshemam, vahamiham. Both worlds will be taken care of if you just practice this much. And really sincerely hoping that all of you will take all these words to your heart, practice sincerely, and benefit from it. At the end of it, even if a few of you have risen to this level of Brahma Janati iti Brahmanaha, I think I would be delighted that all the efforts have paid off well. And if all of you rise to that, nothing like it, this will be a huge force that will transform the world.